Hello guys, my name is Thomas Jared. Today I present to you my Darklord deck profile. Darklords are a series of dark fairy type monsters that they spell summon themselves from the graveyard with their very powerful card effects. They have a very good searcher, a very good revival card, and also their gimmick is that by paying 1000 life points you can activate the effects of their spell and traps, one from the graveyard, with not paying any other cost than those 1000 life points. So without further ado, let's begin. First we play one Darklord Morning Star, the boss of the entire deck, that it cannot be spell summoned. If this card is distributed summoned, you can spell summon Darklord monsters from your hand and or deck up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. While you control another Darklord monster, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Once per turn, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Darklord monsters on the field, and if you do, gain 500 life points for each Darklord card that's sent from their deck to the graveyard. So it's pretty nice to use this effect, but most of the time we prefer to use him for the effect of the fusion summon, because it's that good. So let's say about the most important card of the deck, Darklord Eggshell. I think Eggshell is one of the cards that it's very suited for this deck, because you can discard this card and one Darklord card, draw 2 cards. Quick effect, you can pay 1000 life points. This is the same effect to all other monsters that target one spell and trap in your graveyard, apply the effects of that target, and then shuffle that target back into the deck. You can only use each of the effects of Eggshells once per turn, and only once you can spell summon Darklord Eggshells once per turn. So that's the most important thing. To discard one Darklord card, draw 2, fix your hand, and go for the effects of Eggshell to bring shuffle back and use the effect again. So that's the whole gimmick of the entire deck. One is Latipoca, because if a Darklord monster or monsters you control will be a Story Bubble or card effect, you can discard this card, and again it has the same effect. So it's a card protector, and most of the instances it's pretty nice. One Darklord that doesn't have that effect, it's Darklord Superbia, which is a phenomenal card for this build, because when this card is spell summoned from the graveyard, you can target one fairy type monster in your graveyard except itself, and also special summon that target. By using that, we can go to rank 8 and bring back Eggshell, which is very neat in that regard, because we will discard her most of the time, or discard a Superbia or anything like that to create a bigger board, and it's really nice. And also a very nice combo is that by using the level 4 monster Darklord Indulged, we can spell summon Superbia to defense in our opponent's side of the field, and then destroy that Superbia to have a Superbia in the graveyard. So it's pretty nice. One Darklord Zerato, because if you have 4 more dark monsters with different names in the graveyard, you can tribute this card by treating one dark monster. You can send one dark monster from your hand to the graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. It's a Raigeki on a card, a level 8, and also a dark type monster, so it's pretty good. The win condition of this deck that we have, it's the Archlord Christia, because it's a fairy deck. We play 3 copies because we play 3 trade-ins in this build. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you have 4 exactly fiend type monsters, which is fairy type monsters, which is very easy in this deck. In your graveyard, you can spell summon this card from your hand. When you do that, you enter one fairy type monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. The player can spell summon monsters. This hinders our playstyle, but it hinders our opponent most of the times, because if we can bring down the first Darklord and also Christia, it's pretty much game over for the opponent, because he cannot target it, and also spell summon monsters that are 2900 points. It's not in this game, at least if you don't use equip cards or something boosters. One Darklord Nurgle. Nurgle is a card that all fairy monsters that we control, if they attack and defense position monsters, they gain piercing battle damage. So that's the whole effect of his, and it's pretty nice in what he does. We play 3 Darklord Nuston. Nuston is a card that you can discard 2 other Darklord cards, spell summon this card from your hand. So it's pretty nice to have. It's the second most good card after Eggshell for sure, and it's pretty nice. Also we play one Darklord Amdusk. Amdusk is a card that you can discard this card from, and one Darklord card you control, drag one Darklord card in your graveyard, add it back into your hand. So it's really nice to add a card back into the hand, and also it saves the same effects that all other Darklord monsters. For the level 4s we play 3 Indulged Darklord. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can take 2 Darklord monsters from your hand and or deck with different levels, except herself. Spell summon one of them to the opponent's side of the field in defense position and add that other monster to your hand. That's the way we search most of the time our Morning Star, Ixchel, and whatever we prefer. And also for the rest of the turn, we cannot use the evade monster effects except fairy type monsters, which is not a big deal because we pay a lot of fairy monsters and it's a fairy deck, so it's pretty nice. 1 Ukabak. Ukabak is a monster that when it's normal or spell summon, you can send 1 Darklord card from your deck to your graveyard. That's the whole effect. It's a Fool's Burial in a card and it's pretty nice for that regard. Next, we play the best card of the entire deck for the spells. Banishment of the Darklord is a card that you can add 1 Darklord card from your deck to your hand, except Banishment of the Darklord itself, basically. You can only activate 1 Banishment from Darklord per turn. So what means is that we can use this effect, add 1 card into the hand, this will go to the graveyard, pay 1000 life points, shuffle it back into the deck, and then draw another card that you prefer from your archetype. So it's busted in that regard and it's pretty good. For the second best spell, we play 3 Darklord Contact. Contact is a card that you can spell summon 1 Darklord monster from your graveyard in defense position. And you can only control once per turn. So, you again do the same thing. Activate it, revive a monster, and then when it goes back to the graveyard, use that monster's effect most of the time if it's an Ixchel or anything like that. Shuffle it back and spell summon another monster. And that's the card that we use most of the time to bring back Superbia, to bring out another monster, so you can go to a lane climb. Next, we play 3 Trade-ins. Very good stable card. This card, level 8, we play a lot of in this build. With Christia, it fixes a lot of things. 3 Allure of Darkness, because we play most of the time dark type monsters. Everything is dark except Christia, which is light, but it's also pretty nice to have. We play 1 Monster Reborn to revive all monsters. 1 Foolish Burial to send a monster to the graveyard to fix our grave. 1 Foolish Burial good to fix our grave with a spell. 1 Darklord for a traps enhancement to send 1 Darklord monster from your hand or face up on your field to the graveyard to take control of 1 monster your opponent control. Most of the time we try to use this effect to steal our opponents either a monster that they have like Appaloosa, Evermax, anything basically that can stand the deck, we can steal it, and then it's pretty nice. 1 Darklord Rebellion, again, to send 1 Darklord monster from our face up on the field or hand into the graveyard to destroy 1 card on the field. We don't specifically state which card we destroy, so first let your opponent do their plays, choose what they want to send to the graveyard by fusion summon or anything, and if they say that they don't want to use anything, we pop the card and finish this state, so it's pretty good in that regard. And last but not least, we play 2 Darklord Uprising. Uprising is a card that we can send 1 Darklord monster from our hand or face up on the field of the graveyard to fusion 1 dark fusion type monster from our extra deck using monster from hand or field as fusion material. Then we gain life points equal to the original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard to activate this effect. So what we try to do is get our Morning Star into the deck or face up on the field somehow, and then try to use Uprising to bring out the extra deck monster, which I will showcase right now, that we play in 2 copies. The first, Darklord. What this card does is that your opponent cannot target fairy type monsters you control with card effects, so it's pretty nice, pretty neat. Also, you can only use one of the following effects of first Darklord once per turn and only once that turn. If this card is fusion summoned using Darklord Morning Star, which is the monster that we search most of the time, as material you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. So it's pretty neat in that regard. It's a free nuke, 4000, it cannot be targeted, so it's very good protected and it's pretty nice. And also during the main phase, the second effect, quick effect, you can pay 1000 life points plus summon 1 fairy type monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Which is the way that we can send we can revive a Christia to lock down our opponent and finish the game over there, or to go to our Lingers or Secret Place, whatever we prefer, but most of the time bring Christia with this. It's devastating, guys. We play 1 Rail Cannon Liebe, 1 Dora and 1 Gustav Max for burn, for protection and for crazy OTKs, so it's pretty good. We play 1 number XX Utopic Dark Infinity, because when your monster is destroyed by battle and sent to graveyard, which will be very easy for this deck, you can touch one extra material from this card, target that monster, spell summon it into the field in defense position. So we can steal our opponent monsters in case they play something very beefy. Number 62, to raise his attack to go over 5,600 attack points, that it's really high and can bypass almost anything in the battle position, so it's pretty nice and it's a quick effect, so it's pretty neat in that regard. Next we play for the rank up 7 engine, 1 Mega Phantom Beast Dracosack and 1 Big Eye. Big Eye to steal the opponent's monster, and Mega Phantom Beast Dracosack to spawn 2 tokens that we can tribute them and then try to destroy our opponent's monsters, which is pretty good in that playstyle. So next we play 2 Condemned Darklord. Condemned Darklord is a card that you can tribute to 1 fairy type monster you control that requires 2 tributes by bouncing 2 monsters from your graveyard instead of tributing it. It's still treated as a tribute summon. You can discard 1 card and take 1 Darklord monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Condemned Darklord once per turn. And once per turn during the end phase, gain 500 life points for each monster on the field. So it's pretty good because we replace our life points that we spent to use our effects, and also it's pretty nice because we can bring Morningstar as fast as possible, and also it's pretty good to spell summon Ixchel, anything like that, and to go off with our plays. 1 Witch's Apprentice, 1 other Clock Taker to bypass our opponent monsters, and last but not least 1 Herald of the Mirage Light, because it's a card that in the case we need to bring 1 negate that will ruin an opponent's play, this is the card that we go to. Instead, it's the second and finishing touch in this deck. So that's the deck profile. See you again, guys. Bye bye.